Hope everyone's doing well. I'm just going to welcome to our event today. My name is Deric Joyner. I am the project associate with the National Academy of Social Insurance, otherwise known as NASI. I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways since we've been here this morning. On behalf of NASI, I would like to welcome you all to Demystifying Social Security Academy for Interns. For nearly 25 years, NASI has worked to deepen and broaden the understanding of social insurance, its importance in economic security, and in building a more vibrant economy. Critical to that work is ensuring that as the rising generation of scholars, advocates, policymakers, and voters, that's all you guys out here, begin to fulfill their roles, they are informed in a nonpartisan fashion about the programs that are important to us all, especially Social Security. Hence today's event and its title, Demystifying Social Security. As you all know, the debate on the status and future of Social Security continues in this city and beyond. And the people that the decisions made today will affect the most in the future are us, we millennials, making it more important than ever for us to be well informed on what can be a complex but completely understandable issue. That is until someone comes up with a better name for us than millennials. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, but we could do better. But I digress. Before I began working at NASI, I knew that Social Security was an important issue, but I wasn't sure how I could have an impact on a program that impacts us all, regardless of race, gender, or economic status. And from the results of our pre-event survey that I know all of you dutifully took and completed, many of you feel the same way. Nearly 58% of you considered yourselves to be somewhat informed on Social Security. The survey went on to ask you a variety of questions about various aspects of Social Security, and your answers to those questions, and you being here today, demonstrate that while you all may not be experts, you have a desire to learn more, and that's vitally important given what we're going through now. Now, take the findings of our survey and consider some of the results of the Gallup and USA Today poll released earlier this week. That poll found that 76% of 18 through 34-year-olds surveyed responded no when asked the question, do you think the Social Security system will pay you a benefit when you retire? Given all that, our hope is that at the end of the day, when this event is complete, you all leave here very informed and with your questions answered, empowered and understanding the status and future of Social Security, its generational design, the relevance of the program to your life and that of your family, and with the ability to make decisions that will shape Social Security policy in the future. Today, you will have an opportunity to meet and talk with our knowledgeable speakers and some of NASI's 800 expert members who have volunteered to be here today. In addition, you'll be working with NASI's summer interns during the interactive activity session on today's agenda, the Intern Solution for Social Security. These 21 talented students, raise your hand guys, they're kind of sprinkled everywhere. They represent our 4 internship programs. Now, it's a long list, so bear with me. The Washington Internship on Social Insurance, the Summers Aging and Long-Term Care Research Internship, the Lane Sweeney Graduate Internship in Disability Policy, and the Nathan J. Stark Internship for Nonprofit Development. They have been here since the beginning of the summer and are spending their time working at organizations all across the city, learning about various aspects of social insurance policy. This year's event, which NASI has held every summer since 2005, has been a true team effort, and I would like to thank the great team of staff and interns who have worked to make this day happen. I would also like to thank the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation for their support of NASI's work, including but not limited to Demystifying Social Security Academy for Interns. You're going to hear me repeat that over and over again today, so just get used to it. In addition, I would like to thank the DC United, the Washington Nationals, East Street Cinema, Luna Grill and Diner, and the museum for sponsoring the door prizes, which you all will be eligible for at the end of the day. A few things to note. In your folders that I see a lot of you have gone through already, you will find a blue evaluation form that asks a few simple questions about the speakers and sessions you will be hearing today, as well as your impressions of Demystifying Social Security as a whole and what you have learned. When you have a moment after each session today, because that just makes it easier on you, fill out the form, and when today's event is complete, you can submit it to receive a NASI t-shirt, which is very nice, by the way, and a 2 gigabyte flash drive, which contains 2 drives, count them 2, a large drive for your personal use, and a smaller drive with a few of NASI's recent reports and briefs. Also in your folder, you will find today's agenda, copies of the presentation slides for today, more information on NASI and Social Security, as well as the report, Fixing Social Security, Adequate Benefits, Adequate Financing, which you will use during the interactive activity session today. As you can see from the cameras there, today's sessions will be recorded and will be posted online to enable us to share the experience of demystifying Social Security with a wide audience. Also, be sure to follow NASI on Twitter and check out our live tweets between sessions and retweet anything you think others should know about. Our Twitter name is Social Insurance, write that down, Social Insurance, and the hashtag for this event is Academy for Interns. It's also on the agenda for today. With that said, for the second year in a row, I have the impressive privilege, and I really do enjoy doing this, of introducing our opening speaker, Kilolo Kijakazi. As a person who began her career with an education and background in social work and moved into the world of public policy, Kilolo Kijakazi cares about the people who are affected by the policies and programs Congress shapes. After working in welfare reform, employment, education policy, and then food and nutrition policy, Kilolo rose to national attention through her work on Social Security during the Clinton administration. She has used her work to bring attention to the inclusion of underrepresented groups such as low-wage workers in the Social Security program. In her current work with the Ford Foundation, Kilolo focuses on the issues of building economic security for a lifetime. From the beginning, she began that work by supporting groups like NASI and researchers of color to encourage more work on the issues that affect us all, but vulnerable groups the most. So we are pleased that she has joined us today to start off demystifying Social Security. That must have been like the 5th time I said that. With a few words on why is Social Security important. Please join me in welcoming Kilolo Kijakazi.
Thank you, Derek. I need to get a copy of that and give it to my director because it's performance appraisal time, and that's really a nice introduction. So first I want to start off by apologizing for a little glitch. I emailed Derek the wrong version of my PowerPoint, and so that's why you see the wrong date on the version that you have. But it is close enough to the one that I did last year, so we'll make this work. Okay. Here? Okay. So, why is Social Security relevant to young people? What you will undoubtedly hear throughout this forum is that Social Security is an essential asset for young people. It is not just a retirement benefit. About 4.5 to 5 million people receiving Social Security are under the age of 40. They are workers who become disabled, spouses of workers who become disabled or die, and children with parents who have become disabled or die or retire. While we would all like to believe that we will be strong and healthy throughout our lives, in reality, some of us are going to suffer a disability or die prior to retirement. Okay. I am not sure I'm at the right place now, but anyway. The Social Security Administration Office of the Chief Actuary projects that about 9% of men and 6% of women will die before retirement, and 30% of men, and 25% of women will become disabled before retirement. Now, I found that shocking the first time I saw those statistics. The insurance value of Social Security to young workers and their families in the event of disability or death is far greater than what most young workers could afford to buy in the private sector. The Office of the Chief Actuary estimated that in 2006, a 30-year-old worker with a spouse of age 28 and two young children was earning and who was earning about $25,000 to $30,000 a year and became disabled, that family would receive Social Security disability benefits with a value the equivalent of about $415,000 in disability insurance if it were purchased in the private sector. If that same worker died, his or her family would receive a survivor's benefit, the equivalent of $433,000 in life insurance. Social Security is particularly important for young workers and their families in the current economic environment. Social Security was not intended to be the only source of income when people become disabled, die, or retire. Savings and pensions are also intended to supplement Social Security. However, the downturn in the economy has made it much harder for people to set aside savings. In fact, stagnant wages and the loss of a job have meant that some workers are having to tap into or completely deplete their savings in order to stay afloat right now. Young workers who are attempting to prepare for retirement have also been hit. Even prior to the most recent economic downturn, only 50% of all workers had pension coverage. For low-wage workers, and young workers typically start out at the entry level. For low-wage workers, only about 30% are covered by pensions. Over the last 25 years, there has been a substantial decline in the number of employers providing the traditional benefits, which are the defined benefit pensions. And that's when pension benefits are determined by the number of years worked and the wages received. Employers who are providing pensions have been shifting to defined contributions, such as 401ks. The value of these accounts are determined by how much an employer contributes, or an employee contributes, whether or not an employer contributes a match, and the earnings or the losses to that account. Under the current economic environment, the ability of employers to continue providing pension coverage, pay benefits to current retirees, and contribute to their employees' 401k accounts has been challenged. In light of workers' reduced ability to save and their diminishing prospects for adequate pensions, Social Security coverage has become increasingly important as a stable source of income. The importance of this benefit means it is essential that two factors impacting the program be addressed. The first is restoring Social Security over the long term, restoring solvency, I should say, over the long term. This is a manageable issue that must be addressed to ensure that the program remains healthy. You'll have a chance to talk about this in detail this afternoon. The second concern is program coverage and benefit adequacy for vulnerable workers. For some workers, especially household employees and farm workers, just getting Social Security coverage that they've earned is tough if employers do not report their earnings. If their earnings are not reported, they cannot receive Social Security benefits. If only a portion of their earnings are reported, then they'll not receive all of the benefits that they've earned. There are other workers who are covered by Social Security but receive benefit levels that do not pull them out of poverty. For example, low-wage workers, people of color, women, and people with disabilities are impacted by labor market factors that result in low levels of Social Security benefits. These factors include unemployment, involuntary part-time employment, low lifetime wages, and time out of the labor market to care for family members. Since Social Security benefits are based on years of work and wages earned, these factors result in relatively low benefit levels. Even though the Social Security benefit formula is progressive, meaning that it pays lower wage workers a higher percentage of their pre-retirement earnings than it pays higher wage workers, it cannot completely compensate for the negative impact of some of these labor market factors. Moreover, these labor market factors make it harder for these workers to receive pension coverage and to set aside savings. Consequently, these workers rely primarily, if not solely, on Social Security as a source of income. For some of these workers and their families, the Social Security benefit is not sufficient to keep them out of poverty. While taking steps to ensure the long-term financial solvency of Social Security, we need to simultaneously take action to expand the coverage of workers who should receive it and to increase the adequacy of benefits so that people who have worked hard all of their lives do not have to live in poverty after receiving Social Security. So how can young people impact the future of Social Security? Where Social Security is concerned, unlike almost any other policy, members of Congress listen to their constituents. For the most part, members want to make sure that they are representing the views of their constituents before they take a position on Social Security, because this issue can determine whether or not they're going to hold on to their jobs. Like previous generations, young workers have the simultaneous responsibility of contributing to the coverage of current beneficiaries while preparing for their own retirement in the future. With responsibility comes the right to provide input into decision-making about the changes that are going to impact the contributions you make to the Social Security system and the benefits that you will receive in the future for disability, death, or retirement. Solutions to the Social Security challenges can be developed through intergenerational exchanges. One of the Ford Foundation grantees, the Center for Policy Research on Aging at UCLA, is taking this approach within the Latino community. Based on research, the research they've conducted on the importance of Social Security in the Latino community, they are identifying ways for young Latinos to contribute to the current beneficiaries while improving their own economic security for the present and when they retire. CPRA is also working with national, state, and local organizations to create intergenerational conversations. And they're doing this by holding a series of public forums across the country, conducting policy briefings, and disseminating briefing papers and fact sheets. Through this work, they intend to build a coalition of younger and older Latinos. This coalition would help to develop an intergenerational strategy that meets the retirement security needs of the elderly, prepares young people for their own secure retirement, and educates policymakers, the media, and the general public about the need for policies that support this strategy. Other grantees, such as Generations United, the National Council of La Raza, the Roosevelt Institute, and Economic Policy Institute are also developing such strategies. So I encourage you to really get engaged in the activities that NASI has put together for this meeting. Then think about ways that you can stay engaged both individually and collectively as the country undertakes the debate on Social Security in the coming months. Thank you.